We begin with breaking news this afternoon as the man convicted of killing Hot Springs police officer Brent Scrimshire is sentenced to life in prison. We have been covering Kayvon Ward's trial since it started 2 weeks ago. Ian Russell has been in the courtroom since the beginning. Ian, tell us about today's sentencing hearing.
Yeah, Mackailyn, after 2 weeks of trial and testimony, we now know the fate of Kayvon Ward. The jury spent about half an hour deliberating his sentence before ultimately deciding on life in prison on that first-degree murder charge for the death of Hot Springs police officer Brent Scrimshire. Now, this morning was the end of this trial, and we heard a lot from witnesses who were impacted directly by this from both sides. Officers who knew Scrimshire, as well as his wife Rachel, told the court how this had changed their lives. And Ward's family said the same, saying they just don't know how we got here. Now, Ward was actually sentenced to 2 life in prison sentences for the first-degree murder charge and for aggravated assault of an officer. Of course, I will have a lot more details here coming up later on 5 and 6. And for the first time throughout this entire trial, we'll hear from the attorneys on both sides. We're live in Hot Springs. Ian Russell, THV 11 News.
Well, good Friday, Central Arkansas meteorologist Nathan Scott. And finally, we're seeing some cooler temperatures around a large part of the state, all due to cloud cover and scattered showers and storms that have been firing up. Look at these temperatures. It's in the 70s in Clinton, 73 in Russellville, 79 in Searcy, 83 in the capital city. Where there's more sun into South Arkansas, temperatures have warmed up into the low 90s. Here's a radar loop, and we do have a good batch of rain moving right along Interstate 40. So you're seeing the rainfall in Russellville, in Dardanelle, Atkins, Morrilton. This is making its way closer and closer to Conway. Around the metro, we've got a few spotty showers dotting the landscape. Into Saline County, also off to the east, and the chance of scattered showers and storms will stick around through the course of the afternoon into this evening, and some storms could be a little feisty. The activity starts to wind down as we go into tonight, but there's the potential 1 or 2 storms may try to produce some gusty winds. Any storm can produce a lot of lightning and maybe even some small hail. As you see that severe storm outlook, it's a slim risk. We could see strong, possibly severe thunderstorms from Little Rock and down to the south. So here's your planner today. Temperatures 89, that may be quite a reach. If these clouds remain in place, a lot of locations will be stuck in the mid-80s, 90s down to the south, and just watch out for that chance of scattered showers and storms through the rest of the day. More showers and storms expected into the weekend. I'll have that forecast coming up.
Thanks, Nathan. The death toll from the catastrophic flooding in Kentucky has risen to 16 people, including children. And state officials expect that number to keep climbing as more rain is expected. Severe weather also caused flooding in other parts of the country, from Missouri to Arizona. Even the casinos in Las Vegas were affected. Ian Schwartz has the latest from Phoenix.
Officials in Kentucky say people are still missing after relentless rain caused massive flooding in eastern parts of the state.
We are still in the search and rescue mode, and at least in some areas, the water is not going to crest until tomorrow.
Crews made hundreds of rescues as the fast rising water suddenly left people stranded. Entire communities were submerged. Some homes floated away. The governor says the scope of the disaster hasn't even begun to come into focus.
We know some of the lost will include children. We may have even lost entire families.
This woman feared her house would be among the homes lost.
Right now it's looking like we're not going to be able to save it.
Heavy rains also set off massive flooding in parts of Missouri. The storms in St. Louis came on top of record rains earlier this week. And in Apache Junction, east of Phoenix in Arizona, the rain came down so fast that floodwaters swept away cars.
It came up real quick. I mean, when I saw it, it was below the street. And within minutes, it was actually running over the street.
And water poured in from the ceiling of Caesar's Palace as torrential rains pounded Las Vegas overnight. There's a chance for more rain in the forecast there and in the southwest. Ian Schwartz, CBS News, Phoenix, Arizona.
Kentucky's governor announced this morning that President Biden ordered federal aid for 13 counties in the eastern part of the state. Now everyone is talking about tonight's Mega Millions lottery drawing. The jackpot is at $1.1 billion, making it the second largest in history. The largest was back in 2018, worth more than $1.5 billion. Now don't get your hopes too high tonight. Mega Millions says your chance of winning the jackpot is about 1 in 302 million. But someone has to win. Tickets start as low as $2 a ticket. Those with the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery encourage players to add the multiplier because that could increase your winnings. And if you do win, the $1.1 billion jackpot has a $648 million cash value. Kara Lee Ford with the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery warns people to beware of scams surrounding Mega Millions.
We've had some calls this week from people saying they got phone calls telling them they won the Mega Millions. Well, that's a scam because first of all, if you didn't purchase a ticket, you can't win. And we never call to tell you that you won. You have to come to us.
At the end of the day, Ford says to play responsibly and don't put your whole paycheck on the line. Just have fun. You can purchase tickets up until 9:45 tonight, and the drawing is at 10. Now some encouraging news at the pump this afternoon. Arkansas's average gas price statewide is below $4 for the first time this summer. Gas prices have been dropping almost daily over the past month, according to AAA. Right now, people are paying about $3.84 at the pump. That's over 50 cents lower than a month ago, but still about $1 more than this time last year. But where could gas prices go from here? Well, a AAA spokesperson says we could see a bit more relief.
We should continue to see prices, come down a bit, at least here in the short term in the next couple weeks.
He also said that concerns over an economic recession could cause oil and gas prices to continue to go down. In other news, as the monkeypox outbreak grows exponentially, we're continuing to keep you safe as the government announces it's close to having 1 million shots on hand to vaccinate people. Another 268 cases were announced Thursday. It comes the day after a massive spike of over 1,000 cases, and the CDC expects more cases to be reported in coming days and weeks. They also just released a new report on the epidemic. The outbreak is still centered around major metropolitan areas, with Washington, D.C. faring the worst so far. Now, health officials don't expect the monkeypox virus to spread like COVID-19. However, they do want you to stay informed and safe. As of this afternoon, Arkansas has a limited supply of vaccines, but only those who are considered high risk can take the shot, according to the CDC.
They want them to get the vaccine within 4 days to try to prevent the illness. If it's between 4 days and 2 weeks, then they may not promise that it would prevent the illness, but it would lessen the severity of the illness.
According to the Arkansas Department of Health, you're considered high risk if you've been exposed to someone with monkeypox or were at an event with confirmed cases. Right now, there are 4 confirmed cases in Arkansas. And the weekly COVID-19 levels update from the CDC still shows most of central Arkansas at high levels. Masking is recommended, especially for people with pre-existing conditions. Parents are also recommended to vaccinate their children before the start of the school year. The health department expects more transmission once kids return to school. Now, the U.S. Postal Service is creating a new division specifically for mail-in ballots. The agency has already handled more than 40 million ballots for this year's midterms. For the 2020 election, the post office says it delivered more than 99% of ballots within 7 days. Now, just ahead, a new study highlights how the healing power of music is helping veterans suffering from PTSD. Plus,
and you'll actually need the rain gear close by today because scattered showers and storms remain the forecast throughout your Friday and into the weekend. I'll have that wet forecast coming up.